Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. My name is B. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive. I like to use both of those backgrounds in order to have an informed opinion on some of the issues that I like to talk about on this channel. And then I also like to use the cards to give some advice to the people who are involved. Um, all of these videos that I make, my intention is to be helpful, never hurtful. So that's my intention. Take it for what you will. That's my intention. Um, so, oh, well, before I even get into it, sorry again for the glasses. I know there's a glare. I know it's annoying, but I still have an eye ulcer in this eye, and I am not cleared to wear contacts for at least another week. So that's gonna be that. Anywho, all right, let's get into it. Whew. We already did a video on this channel about Stephanie Soo versus Avocado. After both of them made one video apiece discussing it. And some has happened since then. So we are going to revisit this. This is a part 2. If you care to see the part 1 and hear some of the background that you may have missed, then go ahead and look at my first video. But otherwise, here we go into this one. After Stephanie Soo made her first video and Nick made his rebuttal, since then, since we've covered this, Nick Choi has come out with his own statements about what went on. And then Stephanie Soo released another video yesterday that was almost an hour long. And basically went through everything that Nick alleged, and she pulled out receipts. She had all kinds of receipts. She had receipts about the home photos, that argument that was up for debate about whether or not he was taking pictures without her knowledge or with her in the bathroom where she wasn't able to see that he was taking pictures in her home. They went back and forth on that. She showed some receipts about that. She also showed some text messages, which in her case, she asked permission to share text messages and screenshots from her friends, where unfortunately Avocado did not ask for permission before he started throwing all of his friends under the bus and sharing some of their private texts and private conversations. She showed some unreleased footage that she got from Nick Choi and a whole bunch of other things. So if you haven't watched her video, I really do encourage you to watch that, see what you think on that. So most of you who are here have already seen plenty of videos on this, have already seen her video, I'm sure, and all of the other commentary videos that have come after it. So here on this channel, I don't really, put up a whole lot of screenshots and things like that because I assume that you've already seen all that. What I like to do, again, with my two backgrounds is kind of give my 2 cents on the matter and check the cards and see what they have to say in terms of giving advice to the people involved. So in the first video that I did on this, I kind of talked about the things that Stephanie Soo alleged and the things that Nick alleged, and kind of compared notes and talked about who's being manipulative. Is one of them being manipulative, the other one being manipulative, or they're both being manipulative? And I had some points for both of them showing signs of some manipulative tactics, truth or not, showing signs of some manipulative tactics. And on this, I really think that no matter what I were to present to you today, or what anybody else whose videos you've watched were to present to you, we're still going to have one camp of people over here that swear by Avocado and are completely on his side of it. There's going to be some people over here that swear by Stephanie Soo's side, and there's going to be people in the middle who are still confused or who don't give a shit or people who are like, I'm just tired. I was into this at first, but this has dragged on really long, and this really shouldn't be that serious, and I wished it was all handled in private, and wow, I can't believe we're here. Why don't these mukbangers just eat, you know? So there's going to be all those different stances. There's still going to be people out there that's like, Stephanie is the master manipulator. Can't you see? Look how sassy she's being in her video. Look how passionate she is being. You know, she's saying all these underhanded things. And remember, she wrote on that last mukbang she did, the In-N-Out one, where she wrote in the tags, "Hi Nick, I know you're seeing this." Like, look at all that. She's actually a snake in disguise as someone who seems giggly and effervescent and lighthearted. And then there's going to be people that are like, are you kidding me? Can you not see that Nick is a textbook narcissist and a textbook manipulator and gaslighter? Look at all these little tactics that Nick has said, you know, and done about making things, you know, oh, nobody likes her, you know, everybody agrees with me, you know, look at all these, look how mentally unstable and off base she is, you know, just like a narcissist would, just like a gaslighter would. So we're going to have camps of people that say both things. And the thing is, we can't really prove any of those people right or wrong. We can't prove those people right or wrong. At the end of the day, those are all going to be opinions that we hold, and as Nick Snyder says, opinions are not facts. So, that's just how it's going to be. So, let me recap what I've said whenever I pulled cards last time to offer some advice to both Stephanie Soo and to Nick Avocado. When I pulled cards for Stephanie Soo, the cards said things like, you know, this situation isn't over, more is to come, be careful of betrayal, surround yourself with the right people, and overall, just make sure you don't jump into giving a response too soon and keep everything up here, don't throw any low punches. And it seems that all of those things came to light. And when we pulled cards for Nick, it said Nick's video would be very well received, just like when Tati made her video and then James made a big video and James's video was pretty well received. It said that his video would be pretty well received, but it said also, be careful about running your mouth. Be careful about being cocky. Be careful about trying to control the narrative too hard, and be especially careful about using any manipulative tactics, because people will be able to sniff that out, they'll be able to see it, and they'll know, and that won't go over well for you, that if the truth is enough, you shouldn't need manipulation tactics. So those were the things that came up in my last video about Nick Avocado's reading. And again, those things seemed to come to light. So here we are. Here we are at the next juncture, and again, my intention is always to be helpful, to do no harm, wherever I can, and I would like to do an update reading for both Stephanie Soo and Nick Avocado to just see if we can offer some advice about where we are in this situation and kind of moving forward, just some guidance on the situation for both of them. So let's jump right into this, shall we? We are already 8 minutes into this video. Okay, so Stephanie Soo, what kind of advice is most helpful right now for Stephanie? Advice for Stephanie that's the most helpful right now. Okay. All right. Seems like we've got something started. Let's see if we can get a little bit more information here to go off of to give her some advice. All right. Okay. So, what we're looking at here is basically it said that Stephanie went from a situation where she felt like she was kind of the underdog, where she felt like she wasn't in control of what was going on. She was going through something where she felt completely disempowered, and just felt like she was on the bottom. And now, throughout this process of her seeming to, really regain her own voice, her own level of empowerment, now she's moving on to a celebratory phase. Right now, she feels like she's celebrating. She feels like there's things to be excited about, things to be happy about. She feels like she's found her inner power. She feels like she's turning this situation around. And right now, things are moving in a more positive direction for her, seemingly. These things coming over here says that she felt like she was down and out. She's trying to get some new ideas. She's trying to start fresh. That's kind of, she feels like she's kind of on a rocky road, because what she wants to do now is for things to be over, for her to be able to start fresh, but she's not sure she'll be able to do that. There is an aspect of her that feels like, what if this isn't over though? What if I can't just start fresh? What if I want to move on, but I can't just yet? So she's still bearing some burden from that. There's still a weight to be carried from that, because even if she gave her last word, and she even said in her video, I'm done with this, I want to move on with this, it's time to go forward from here, I'm done, like, but she ended the video be like boom kind of a thing. But this shows, in some ways, she's saying that hoping to convince herself that it's true, because she's still bearing some of the weight, feeling like, what if somebody else adds to this narrative? What if somebody else responds? What if Avocado has more to say? Am I going to keep, getting dragged further into this? Was this situation a burden worth bearing? So there's still some, things that people go through as they're emotionally processing, to feel like, is this what, is this over? Is this where I need it to be? Was this worth it? Etc. Here we're moving on to basically talking about nostalgia. She's at this place now where she, like she said in her video, she's trying to heal. There's things that have happened to her, again, in her own home, because it's a home and family card, where she's still trying to heal from those things, those past traumas. So she's still working on something, still working on trying to heal. So let's look into her healing, and see if the cards have any advice about her healing from her past traumas and able to move on. Yeah, she doesn't feel super confident about that. She doesn't feel super confident about her ability to move on from her past troubles. She feels a bit shaken by it. She does feel like the underdog with that still. She feels like she has a long road ahead of her for her to feel confident, because she is not only trying to heal her trauma from what went on in her home, but now this whole new situation, being publicly in a really big drama, which is new for her, relatively new for her. It's like, now I've got something else that I'm, kind of working on, because I have both of these things that were kind of impacting my life and my mentality together. So this was a little bit shaking for her. She did lose a little bit of confidence here. And, in some ways, her pride could be hurt. Her pride of being, I'm an unproblematic YouTuber that people think is lighthearted and sweet and bubbly all the time, and crap, my pride is a little bit hurt because I did have some underhanded moves where I said some things I probably shouldn't have said, made some really hard accusations that perhaps were a little too harsh and not so well crafted in the first video, and pride is hurt by being caught being petty with the high neck. I know you are seeing this in the tags of that one mukbang video and stuff like that. So she feels a little bit unconfident about healing, and then also her pride's a little bit hurt from this. But overall, this card is saying she's going to pull out of a bad situation, in a situation where at first she felt like, you know, more was going wrong than right. Now she's realizing that things aren't as bad as what she thought, that she has more ability to help herself heal from whatever it is that she's going through from her past. She has more of ability to heal now. She's realizing that it's not a glass half empty situation, it's a glass half full situation in terms of her ability to heal her own past traumas, so that she doesn't get triggered nowadays and let her past traumas knee-jerk her into a triggered response, because those things may get egg on her face. So that's what it says about Stephanie Soo. Let's look into Nikocado Avocado, see if we can get some advice for him on this. So let's look about Nikocado Avocado. Can we get some advice for you, Nick, to be very helpful as we can be? Woo. All right, come on. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Y'all see me shuffling these cards. Nikocado Avocado. Let's see. Interesting, 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 interesting. Okay, let's get more. Let's get more. Yep. We got one of the same cards pulled for him that we had pulled for Stephanie. Let's see. Okay. So, starting off here with Nikocado Avocado. What we're seeing right here is that this situation is a very emotional situation for him. Emotional in that his feelings are all tied up in this situation right now. So, you know, he may or may not be showing that to the world, but he's got more emotions than what people realize. The thing is that emotionally, he may not have everything together in the way that he should. We have 3 pages here. 3 pages. And there's only 4 pages in the entire deck, and we have 3 of them right here in this reading. And pages can sometimes be immature. So in this case, it's saying that Nikocado Avocado has to be careful about having immature feelings, being immature about his, you know, mentality, immature about his feelings, immature about his directions in life, immature as it pertains to decisions about how to make money. That in some ways Nikocado Avocado is making decisions in a way that is less than a perfectly matured adult. That being said, a lot of times we make decisions that maybe are not the tip-top high road of all decisions. So that's not me trying to knock on him. That's just saying that if he were to see this, you know, and were to seriously consider this, perhaps trying to think about what would be a more mature, a more healed response, rather than knee-jerk responses of instant gratification and I want things my way kind of a thing. With the 2 of Cups in reverse right here, this shows that he has broken a lot of ties and burned a lot of bridges with the video that he made on a emotional, because this is a Cups card, on an emotional aspect. So whereas his video may have gained a lot of public favor, where, you know, people who watched his video may have thought, man, he's made a lot of good points, we really misjudged him, we're with you, Nikocado, you know, and his video did come over like that. It got a very positive public response overall. He burned a lot of bridges emotionally. That's what this card is showing. We already know that he burned a bridge with Stephanie Soo. That's obvious. And we already know that he burned a bridge with Nick Choi, and that Nick said he shared my private messages without my permission, and that's not cool. And then Nick started saying some more positive things about Stephanie. So we know that Nick was feeling pretty aggravated and upset about, or we know Zach, okay. How am I getting my names mixed up here? Lord help me. We know Zach had a bridge burned because he was saying you used my text messages and things without my permission in this video, and we know that he and Nick are now not on the best terms, and that now Zach is starting to say kind things about Stephanie and speak to her side and say some less than kind things about Nick. So I'm getting my names all mixed up. Lord help me. That shows how over this drama a lot of people are. That shows how many people feel like, okay, is this done now? This was cool and interesting at first, but is this done now? So anywho, yeah, this is the burning bridges. And so who knows, some of the other people who haven't spoken out yet, but that Avocado put in his video, we don't know, did he use those without permission as well? If he didn't ask Zach's permission, did he ask their permission? Do they have issues now in their friendship bond? Are they talking things out, or are they cutting ties as well? So this is a card saying, you know, what he did had a bad effect on his friendships there. But then what we see down here, once again, you know, every time Avocado has a drama, whether or not people end up being like, oh, I'm so through with him, I'm disgusted in his behavior, this was not cool, screw him. Even if a lot of people have that stance about Avocado after his dramas, does he not still continue to grow his channels? He still continues to grow his channels. He still continues to have a lot of financial success. And this card is saying that this situation is no different. He's not ended it. It's not like, look at Avocado's video and it's him ending himself for 1 hour and 36 minutes and 22 seconds. No. That's not what's going on. He just like he and Trisha Paytas are a lot alike in that they're like, you know, cats with 9 lives, that no matter what they do in dramas, they still continue to grow their channel, they still continue to exist, they still continue to make more money off of it. And this shows that in that case he's no different. So let's see if we can get any other further advice for him now that this is kind of saying what's going on. Any other further guidance? Yep. Okay, so this, in terms of guidance for Avocado, this is saying that he has bound himself up in his own personal mental traps, and also in his own personal public traps. That anything that he's going through right now, mentally, financially, you know, any of these things that he's going through are of his own making, that he's kind of creating his own prison here. So if he wants to be able to be free and have this card right here, which this card is like new emotional chapter of growth and happiness and success. If he wants emotional growth and happiness and success and all of those good things to come to him, all of those feel goods, because this is, you know, cups are about emotions. That's the emotional, heart-centered feel good. If he wants that, he's got to quit with this. He's self-sabotaging. You know, he puts himself in his own prison by running off at the mouth and by, you know, using manipulation tactics. If he stuck with only what was true, he would go farther than trying to twist the narrative with manipulative facts. He's creating his own prison here, and it doesn't have to be this way. He could have this, and this is what he wants. This is like emotional peace. Instead of all of this emotional unrest all the time, he could have this if he would quit with this. So I think that in large part, he does create his own dramas, and it's keeping him from having this. So Avocado, I don't think you would ever see this, and if you did, I'm almost certain you wouldn't care, but in case you would care, and in case you would feel like it would be helpful to you, because I think it could be helpful to you, you know, to just consider this. Just consider it. And then, of course, everything else you choose to do, your prerogative, your life. You get to make it whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. That's the fun part about our lives, right? They're ours, and we can do with them whatever we want. And as I was shuffling the cards to put them away, the Fool card comes up, which is actually a very lighthearted card, being like, all right, y'all, can we just be lighthearted and happy again? Can this be over? Can we just be like, oh, let's, everything be good again. Look at this. Let's let everything be sunshine and puppy dogs again. Look at this puppy dog and this sunshine. Can we just please? So this is just kind of showing everybody wants to be done with this. We're all ready for this to be over. Can it be? Please. So anywho, I hope that you thought that this was helpful. Hang out with me on Twitch at Bees Talks and Tarot for more chats and card readings, or hit me up at my email if you would like a private reading. My rates are reasonable, and we will keep following where all of these things are going. So hope to see you back here soon, and y'all have a good one. Alrighty.